This is the 2025 Brewtubers Online Brewers Club Malt Experiment, Amber Ale. Thanks to our sponsors. 5 Star Chemicals. Check out their new online straight-to-consumer homebrew shop where you can buy everything from Star San and line cleaner to the new liquid PBW that can be used at temperatures as low as 58 degrees Fahrenheit. Check out their online store at 5starchemicals.com/home-brewing. Beer and Wine Hobby Homebrew Supply Store. A local homebrew shop in Danvers, Massachusetts. Order any malt they offer in any quantity you want, and if you order before 11 a.m., they'll package your items and ship out the very same day. Visit the store at www.beer-wine.com. Let's get tasting.
Hello, everyone out in YouTube land and fellow Brewtubers. This is Kurt from Fermentation Adventures, coming back at you with review beer number 6 for the 2025 Brewtubers Specialty Malt Experiment. Quick recap, if this is your first video, 11 of us brewed the same recipe. I'll put the recipe over here so you can review it. I won't go into detail, but we all brewed the same base recipe. Brewers were allowed, it was the brewer's choice to choose a specialty malt to use in their beer, and we can all 11 of us can taste all the beers, record it, and we can decide which specialty malts work in an amber ale, which we'd want to use again in the future. That's really all we're going for here. But that is basically it. Beer number 6 for me tonight is from our pal Brew Master Jerry, here with his super special beer. Jerry's variable was 8 ounces of Briess special roast malt, which is according to them, it is a biscuit malt. Should be adding some toasty biscuit flavors. They actually have a little spider web on their site, which is pretty cool. But the color of the grain itself, it should be a 40 SRM, so I'm looking for this to be a little darker. Again, it's only 8 ounces. It shouldn't be too crazy dark, but that is what it is. Jerry's stats, again, all these beers should be in the same ballpark. He got an ABV of 4.5% with a starting gravity of 1054, final gravity of 1013. And like most of us, he's claiming 33 IBUs. So yeah, let's give this one a shot. Again, the can is probably spinning here, so you can get a closer look at the can. Yeah, let's try it out. So let's pop Jerry's can here. Nice can hiss. Pop it open. Getting a nice little bit of foam coming right on the top of the can. Let's go with a somewhat aggressive pour here, if we can see what we got. All right, so we got here right off the bat, very clear beer. I guess this is probably one of the more clearer beers of the ones I reviewed so far. I can, holding up to the light, clearly see the Trillium logo on this other side of the tulip. Which again, everything has been somewhat clear from slightly hazy to fairly clear, but I think this is probably like the clearest of the bunch. As well, we have some really nice amber hues coming through here. It's probably not as dark as some of the beers. It's definitely darker than the lightest beers we've seen. I think Billy's might have been the lightest one so far. But yeah, again, if I look at the foam, beautiful tight bubbles of nice little, well, it's not about a 1/4 inch of foam on the top here, persisting around. So yeah, we have some really nice carbonation going on here in the glass. The foam, I'd say it's probably somewhere around an ivory color. Definitely off-white, probably not quite tan, but it looks great. Okay, so let's go in here for a little sniff. Yeah, so right off the bat, I'm getting that sweet malt aroma coming through. Again, sweet's not really an aroma, but sweet in so much the kind of the more real traditional caramel is really coming through with this guy. Again, I get some slight esters from this a little bit. And again, yeah, they have sourdough as one of the descriptors. If you look at it, that's probably um, I am getting a little bit of that sourdough tanginess in amongst this. Again, subtly, sort of on some more of the dark fruit aromas I'm getting, and some more like a doughy character I'm getting, probably a little yeasty, honestly. So again, not saying that's from the yeast, but kind of like um, like a fresh dough, um, aroma. If if you're making your own bread and you're using probably like the traditional yeasts, I'm getting a little bit of that kind of yeasty character that comes from some of those brews. Yeah. So yeah, overall pretty nice. So let's go in for a little taste. Mm, really nice. Um, again, yeah, I'm thinking if it's probably more in line with some of the with probably I don't know, I'm getting some. It's reminding me a little bit more of my beer, and again, probably like the more on the Munich and the biscuity type flavors seem to be coming through quite well. But yeah, definitely getting some biscuit from this, some toast, a little bit of this, some subtle like the fruit flavors, not as much as I was getting from some of the other beers um Drew's beer, the Underground Brewery's beer. His was more kind of fruit forward. Mhm. Mm. Yeah, and there's a perfect amount of little hop bitterness in the back to kind of offset some of the sweeter flavors that's kind of coming through with this. Again, and some more slight esters. Yeah, really good. It's a really solid beer. Honestly, there's nothing in this one that's really kind of jumping out as much as some of the other beers. Like I know from Billy's like that really I don't think I've used it in the review, but that like kind of rich biscuity almost honey character was really kind of jumping out with that, which really kind of differentiated it a bit, I think, from some of the other beers. Yeah, again, I'm kind of getting some of the again dough yeasty character, which again is not unpleasant, but it's probably not what I'm kind of really um would want to get as kind of the prominent flavors for the amber. But yeah, really drinkable. Really, it's really well done. Um, the mouth feel again, it was 13, 10, 13 final gravity. The mouth feel is right around that. We're not finishing off dry here. There's that little bit of bitterness at the end that kind of really cleanses the palate, but there's a nice like moderate to medium mouth feel from this, I think, um, which is really nice. Again, there's no hot alcohol, of course, because it's 4.5% beer. But yeah, it's a fine amber. Again, if I was served this at a brewery, I would not complain at all. I'd be pretty happy. Again, personally, sometimes the amber and the like amber ales kind of a little wrong for me sometimes is when they're kind of really too over the top sweet, and this is definitely not that. So I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, so it's a really drinkable beer. I'm happy as well with this one. I really got the beer to warm up quite a bit. So I think the flavors are really kind of popping a little bit here. Yeah, and as I come back to it again, it probably is because I did the right thing. I got this guy to heat up a little bit. I am getting more of a hop spiciness coming from this. I think that's what I was focusing on the malt, and I was trying to pick out what exactly is going on here. But yeah, there's definitely a little bit of a hop spice, you know, the typical kind of like spicy notes, and a little bit of maybe on the piney slash resinous type flavors I'm getting coming through hops, which again is not pleasant, not unpleasant at all, but it's, you know, it's just different than the other beers. So again, it's probably, this was added in a little less of the 8 ounces, is a little less of the overall range of you know, the amount of grain that was added. Again, I don't know if the special roast is strong, so to speak. But yeah, the toast and the biscuit is definitely popping right through here. So rankings. I'm probably gonna have to take notes here in a little bit, but so right along, let's see where we had. I had from previous beers so far through, this is beer number 6. I had Billy number 1, and I had Drew number 2, and then I had Hattie number 3, and I think I'd slot the super special from Brewmaster Jerry right in there below Hattie's beer and above Hunt's beer with the toffee malt. Again, they're all really good beers, all really drinkable, all well done. But that's how I'd rank them at this point. So again, the toffee malt right now is, you know, kind of in the lower of the rankings. But again, it was really interesting malt. Not sure about how it played in with the amber ale and where I'd go with it. Probably would want to dial it back myself. But yeah, this is how I'm playing things right now. And of course, my beer was on the bottom, still number 6, because again, it's just the base recipe and it's missing some of these other notes that these other beers have. So with that, let me wrap up this review. I will throw out a big thank you to our sponsors, Beer and Wine Hobby and 5 Star Chemicals. Thanks for sponsoring the club and making these experiments possible. And with that, I will cut it and be back before you know it with beer review number 7. Cheers.